If you don't feel rich right now, that might actually be the clearest sign you're on your way to building real wealth. I know it sounds wrong, but hear me out. The people truly building wealth rarely feel wealthy in the moment. Why? Because they're too focused on doing the quiet, consistent work that actually creates it. Saving, investing, learning, building, while everyone else is busy trying to look rich. If you've ever wondered whether you're on the right path, today I want to share 9 subtle signs you're quietly getting rich, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Because the wealthiest people don't wait until they feel wealthy to act with intention. They always act first, and the money follows. The first sign: you feel rich in time, not just money. Most people spend their whole lives chasing money. The truly wealthy eventually start chasing something far more valuable: time. If you've noticed yourself savoring slow mornings, quiet evenings, and the ability to say no to things you don't want to do, you're already tapping into a kind of wealth that can't be measured in dollars. When you're in survival mode, time is the first thing you lose. Every hour is spoken for: commuting, working, hustling, juggling bills. You trade your hours for money, and there's never enough of either. Days blur together because you're constantly rushing from one obligation to the next. But when your finances stabilize and your systems run on autopilot, investments growing without your constant watch, savings happening automatically, bills no longer a source of dread, you suddenly notice something new: breathing room, and your spending changes. You start buying convenience instead of chasing discounts. You hire help for the chores that drain you. You choose quality over quantity because you value your hours more than your possessions. I know someone who reached this stage quietly. They stopped chasing every extra dollar and started designing their life around the hours they wanted to live, not the income they wanted to brag about. They spent afternoons walking with their kids, mornings reading, evenings cooking instead of eating takeout in the car. From the outside, nothing about their life screamed rich, but they were living entirely on their own terms. And that's the highest form of wealth. Here's the secret: when you buy back your time, you're not just freeing your schedule, you're freeing your mind. You're making space for rest, creativity, and the kind of thinking that leads to even bigger opportunities. The second sign: you think long-term, not in quick wins. Most people chase fast money, the next bonus, tax refund, or hot stock they spotted on social media. They crave the rush of a quick win, even if it's fleeting. But you've switched to a different game entirely. You've traded speed for staying power. You think in years, even decades. You're less concerned with what will make you money today and more focused on what will still be paying you 10 or 20 years from now. You've learned to prize compounding over instant gratification. This mindset is rare because it's uncomfortable. It means making moves that look boring to outsiders. It means saying no to every shiny new trend, ignoring the noise of buy now, sell now, and quietly building something that lasts. Think about the investor who kept buying during the 2008 financial crisis while everyone else was panic selling. People thought they were reckless. A decade later, those same boring purchases had doubled, tripled, even quadrupled in value. That's what long-term thinking does. It transforms patience into profit. Most people can't stick to this kind of game, and that's exactly why the ones who do eventually win. Number 3, you've built a financial buffer and you don't brag about it. Most people don't realize the value of a financial buffer until life blindsides them, and by then, it's usually too late. When you've quietly built one, you're not just saving money, you're buying peace of mind, freedom, and control. It's the difference between lying awake at night worrying about a car repair and sleeping soundly knowing you could handle it without breaking a sweat. While others post pictures of vacations, cars, and designer outfits, your flex is invisible, months of expenses tucked away. An emergency fund you hope you'll never need. Investments you could tap if life demanded it. And here's the best part: you don't need likes or comments to validate your progress. Your validation is the calm you feel when the unexpected happens. I once knew someone who lost their job and saw their lifestyle collapse within 30 days. Contrast that with someone holding a 6-month cushion. They can choose their next move deliberately instead of grabbing the first offer out of desperation. That's real power. Most people build theirs only after disaster. You've built yours before. That's not luck. That's foresight. And foresight is one of the clearest signs you're not just earning, you're building wealth. You're earning more without spending more. This is the point where most people quietly lose the wealth game. The moment their income rises, so does everything else: the apartment, the car, the wardrobe, the vacations. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the most effective wealth killers out there. But you've broken the cycle. When your income goes up, you don't let your expenses chase it. You understand that being able to afford something doesn't automatically mean you should buy it. Here's why that matters. The gap between your income and your spending is your wealth multiplier. Every extra dollar you don't spend is a dollar that can start working for you, compounding in investments, padding your financial buffer, or funding your next big opportunity. I once knew someone who doubled their income in 3 years. You could tell instantly. Luxury apartment, brand new sports car, tropical vacations every month. They looked rich until they lost their job. Within 90 days, they were broke. Then there's Sarah. She doubled her income too, but kept her modest home, drove her paid-off car, and quietly invested the difference. 10 years later, she's financially independent. No flashy reveals, no big lifestyle announcement, just steady, invisible progress. From the outside, this approach looks boring, but boring is how real wealth is built: quietly, consistently, and without drama. Money has become a tool, not the goal. At some point, the game changes. You stop treating money as the finish line and start seeing it as a vehicle. The question is no longer, how much can I get, but what do I want money to do for me? This is why truly wealthy people spend on tools that help them grow, services that save them time, and experiences that actually matter, while ignoring the status purchases meant to impress strangers. They're not chasing money anymore, they're directing it. When you see money as a tool, it stops controlling you. Instead of working harder to earn more just to keep up with rising expenses, you focus on using what you have to create freedom, security, and impact. And that shift, from chasing to steering, is one of the clearest signs you're not just earning wealth, you're mastering it. You're bored of talking about money. When you're broke, money dominates your thoughts. Every bill feels heavy. Every purchase sparks stress. Every decision circles back to, can I afford it? But once you've built systems, automated savings, steady investments, debt-free living, money starts to fade into the background. It stops being the daily fire you have to put out, and something shifts. You start thinking about bigger questions. How can I spend more time with my kids? What projects actually excite me? What legacy am I building? Money is still important, but it's no longer the center of your world. It's the quiet engine running in the background while you focus on what truly matters. You've mastered living below your means. This is one of the most underrated indicators of real wealth, and one of the least glamorous, but it's powerful. You're not penny pinching or denying yourself joy. You've simply designed a life where your spending is thoughtful. You've stopped trying to impress others with what you buy. Instead, you spend in ways that genuinely improve your life. And that mindset shift changes everything. I once met a millionaire who drove a 12-year-old sedan and lived in a modest home. Not because he couldn't afford the luxury, but because to him, better didn't mean leather seats or a granite kitchen. Better meant freedom. The freedom to take a month off without worry, to invest in a new venture without fear, to say no to things that didn't align with his values. What most people don't realize is that living below your means isn't about sacrifice, it's about margin. That gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's your wealth engine. Keep that space open month after month, and you're giving your future self more freedom, more choices, more power. Over time, that margin compounds into something far more valuable than any flashy purchase: peace of mind and autonomy. And once you have those two things, you've already entered a level of wealth most people never reach, even if their income is higher. You're already wealthy in the most valuable currency there is. The 8th sign: you invest in skills and relationships, not just assets. The wealthiest people know that the highest return investments aren't always found in the stock market. They're found in yourself and the people you surround yourself with. You read voraciously, you take courses, you learn new tools, you actively connect with people who challenge your thinking, broaden your perspective, and open doors you didn't even know existed. Skills and relationships compound in value. A single skill can pay off for decades. One meaningful connection can lead to opportunities you could never have engineered alone. Markets can crash, Assets can disappear, but what you know and who you know can keep generating returns for the rest of your life. Sign 9. You're comfortable with delayed gratification. This might be the most powerful wealth skill of them all, and ironically, it's the least celebrated in our get-it-now culture. Most people can't wait. The moment they feel a little extra money in their pocket, they spend it. New gadgets, impulsive vacations, expensive dinners, anything to feel a rush right now. That's why so many people look successful for a season, but end up back at zero. You're different. You've developed the discipline to wait, not because you can't afford something, but because you choose not to have it right away. It's like the difference between someone who eats the seed versus someone who plants it. One gets a moment of satisfaction, the other gets a tree that produces fruit for decades. I know someone who desperately wanted a luxury car in their 20s. They had the money for it, but instead, they bought a cheaper, reliable car and invested the rest. 10 years later, the returns from that investment could buy 10 of those cars. And the best part? They didn't even want it anymore because their values had shifted. And here's the twist. It's not about denying yourself joy. It's about creating a life where you can afford joy without regret. If you've mastered this, you've built the kind of self-control that most people never develop. And that discipline will quietly carry you into a future far richer than anything a treat-yourself purchase could give you today. Conclusion: quiet progress, lasting freedom. If you recognize even a few of these signs, you're already ahead of most people. Wealth rarely announces itself with fireworks. It shows up as quiet confidence, the steady knowledge that your future is being built, one intentional choice at a time.
So keep going, because if it doesn't feel like you're getting rich yet, you probably are, just quietly. If this resonated with you, remember, the habits you're building now are the ones that will create your freedom later. And if you want to go deeper into the mindset side of money, check out my video on things successful people do that the poor don't. It's the side of wealth most people overlook, but it's the real foundation of lasting freedom.